Hi, boys and girls. Time for social studies and reading. We're incorporating social studies and reading together, talking about the pilgrims, how they immigrated to America, to New England, and how they befriended the Native Americans who were here first. And I'm going to continue with that story. This time, we're going to learn about the women folk. That's what they call the women, and their jobs on the land. And you're also still writing down your main topic. Okay. I have been meeting with you in the morning, and I have to tell you, I am super impressed by how some of you listen to what I'm reading, which is difficult in itself. It's not like you have the book in front of you and you could go back and check. So you're doing a wonderful strategy with listening comprehension. And then basically, what I'm asking you to do is just write down a sentence. What was this page about? Okay. So I'm going to continue, and you'll notice that I'm skipping some pages because it's a really long book. So we left off yesterday with Samoset was an Indian who was kind. He had a friend Squanto. Squanto knew English. He taught the pilgrims how to plant corn, catch fish to use it to fertilize the fields. Okay, so here we go. And then I'll share what I wrote today because we're not meeting on Fridays. So, okay. So don't copy mine, but you can rephrase it, or maybe you have the same main topic that I got. Okay, so let's read. Come closer to me. Okay. Samoset also introduced us to a great sachem of these parts named Massasoit. And in our first year of settlement, we made a peace treaty with Massasoit. We agreed that his people must not hurt our people or bear punishment. We agreed not to steal from each other and to leave our weapons behind when we came to each other upon any occasion. And we agreed to help each other if we should suffer attack. Aye, we have respected and honored that treaty. Now we walk as peacefully and safely in the woods as in the highways of England. Our first wondrous harvest called for celebration. We sang psalms and played games. We rejoiced and fired our noisy muskets into the air. And the Indians came and joined in the feasting. Not just an Indian or two, but Massasoit arrived with over 90 braves who stayed among us for 3 festive days. We prayed and gave thanks for such a harvest and our survival. Okay, so, think about that. The Indians could have killed the the immigrants from England who wanted to become Americans. I mean, they could have said, get off our land. They could have hurt everybody. They could have sent them away. But the Native Americans did not. They opened their hearts. They taught everything that they knew about the land, which is what these now Americans really needed. So my main topic is Samoset introduced Massasoit. All agreed to follow the peace treaty. Their first celebration is now referred to as Thanksgiving. Okay, excuse me. Women folk. Our days are full. We take our little ones into the fields when we must help with the harvest, but we are needed most at our hearths, which are the fires, and near our homes. Our men return hungry from the woods and the fields at noon hour, and our many children are never full. Okay, so that means there's still not a lot of food. They have to feed the men so they have energy to go out and hunt. Okay, mornings we spend in preparation of the midday meal. Baked bread, a pottage made of the roasting meat needs turning on the spit, and our homes need care. As many as 9 and more, if need be, share this simple house, and they are not all of a family at that. On occasion, there's a shipwrecked sailor who needs lodging, or new folks to the plantation in need of a roof. And in this house, we have an indentured servant who for food, water, and shelter works. Our furnishings are few. Our table is but a board set between 2 barrels. We stand or sit much informal about the room to eat. Our plate is a trencher of wood or pewter. Our most useful utensils are our hands. Okay, my main topic was women spent their time cooking for the men. Many people lived in one home. Not much furniture in the home. Okay. During the warm months of spring and summer and fall, we rise with the first light and work till sundown, preparing for the winter. The root crops must be gathered and stored, fish gutted and packed in salt. Fruits must be picked and preserved, including cucumber pickles, the favorites of our children. Pompions must be cut into pieces, strung and hung from the rafters to dry, along with onions and corn, herbs for medicine and seasoning. There too hang pretty marigolds to color our butter, to flavor our food, and to strengthen our hearts. In fall, our swine must be slaughtered, scalded, scraped, and cured, and fat must be rendered into soap. Okay, so a swine is pig. Okay. So the women had to, my main topic, women worked all day in the spring and summer, picking fruits and vegetables and dried herbs for medicine. They also slaughtered and cleaned up the animals. Okay. And our last page. Sorry, boys and girls. With most of our Indian neighbors, we are at peace, and with them, we trade our cloth, iron pots and pans, and farming tools for their animal skins, especially that of the beaver. We ship those skins to England, merchants who turn them into fancy coats and hats for sale in England. We also ship clapboards and woods, which they have little of in England, and fish and sassafras. Thus, we pay off our debt and we begin to prosper. Here in America, the air is good and the water is wholesome. We feel the sweetness of the country. Our health is restored. More ships arrive with more passengers, and our plantation begins to grow. 10 years have passed since we came to America. We now have bulls, cows, and calves to sell. Our fields extend into the wilderness. People of Plymouth Colony are beginning to move outside the plantation for want of more land and are settling in other diverse townships. And there is a new fast-growing colony at the head of Massachusetts Bay. Long we have struggled to survive, now we prosper. Our greatest wealth is our harvest, our healthy families, and a place to worship freely. All right, my main topic from that paragraph is, or two paragraphs, 10 years have passed now, and the new settlers and Native Americans remain peaceful and helpful to one another. Now they prosper with more people from England, animals, and fields of food. Okay, so go ahead and finish. And always, you can pause after each page that I read, and you can quickly jot down the main idea of what I read. All right, boys and girls, nice job. So that's reading and social studies together. I'm also going to record another lesson for social studies about immigration and why people leave their native country. Okay, so I just want to go over a few more of those reasons. Take care.